All right, buckle the hell up, because this ain't your grandma's knitting circle.
Uh-huh.
Welcome to a deep dive that's gone completely off the rails, kind of like your best laid plans in, well, rimworld, I guess.
Yes, yeah, pretty much.
We've got this single glorious mess of a text file here. It's like a chronicle of 1,000-year-ish survival, and I use survival very loosely, of a rimworld colony. Think colonists who couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, base building that's just slapdash,
Oh.
running out of everything before you even knew you had it, and raids that'll just leave you screaming into the digital void.
Constant.
Oh, and get this, apparently at some point, the highlight of the day involves figuring out what to do with, like, dead piggies on the map.
You gotta deal with the corpses, right? Even the pigs.
This, my friends, is a no-zog. Unfiltered, unhinged, and definitely not for the faint of heart. Expect some colorful language. Mature content warning is definitely in effect here.
Precisely. This isn't a tutorial. It's more like a raw feed from the, front lines of a digital apocalypse. We're not here to tell you how to min-max your colony or anything.
Yep.
We're here to wade through the glorious, frustrating, and often just hilarious chaos that happens when you drop a bunch of misfits onto an alien planet and basically tell them, don't die.
Good luck with that.
Right. Our mission, just to pull out the most compelling, and let's be real, most entertainingly screwed up moments from this text file exactly as they were written down.
Including the occasional F-bomb or, whatever else popped into the player's head.
Exactly. Expect bluntness, expect profanity, because that's kind of the language of survival when your colony is going down in flames, isn't it?
Okay, so kicking things off.
Yep.
This player's thinking about morning roll calls. Sounds kind of organized, right? Like you're running a tight ship.
Yeah, almost military.
Nope. Immediately followed by a warning that, okay, it's in Korean. Oh, gas. Yes, gas. Which basically means warned that mental breakdowns can happen during roll calls.
Just lining up.
Yeah, just lining up for attendance is apparently enough to send these poor bastards spiraling right away. You know what kind of delicate flowers we're dealing with here.
It throws you straight into the deep end, doesn't it? RimWorld's core challenge.
Yeah.
Managing not just resources and defenses, but the fragile psyches of your colonists.
Totally.
And the suggestion to send the first person dressed for outside out first. It's just a perfect snapshot of pragmatic desperation,
Yeah, like who cares who it is? Just
Yeah.
someone go deal with it.
Exactly. Efficiency born of just pure necessity.
And the base management. Oh, man, forget any fancy blueprints. We've got a note to put in a stop to the cooking for a bit.
Huh? Why?
Because apparently that's the secret to getting good meals,
Yeah.
followed by a crisp. Just do that. It's like this player's one bad meal away from a full-blown revolt.
Well, it's that immediate cause and effect thinking, right, that dominates the early game. Meal quality directly hits mood. And a temporarily messed up cooking schedule is like a small price to pay to stop everyone from freaking out. That curt command, just do that. It says a lot about the urgency, maintaining even basic morale.
Then, out of nowhere,
Yeah.
no sound when trimming. What the actual hell does that mean?
Right.
Is someone's hair not making a satisfying snip? Is a tree silently falling in a digital forest? We have absolutely zero context, and honestly, it's kind of beautiful.
It is. It's pure, unadulterated RimWorld weirdness. It's one of those little unexplained glitches or observations that crop up and just instantly immerse you in the, unpredictable nature of the game.
Could be anything. A mod acting weird.
Yeah, or a colonist's odd report, or just a fleeting moment of sensory stuff. In a world of constant noise and danger, you're just left to fill in the blanks, much like the player trying to figure it all out.
Grim reality check time, though. They establish burial sites because,
Yeah,
people die.
a lot.
Yeah.
Necessary step.
A lot. But then a glimmer of hope. One colonist achieved mental peace. A goddamn unicorn sighting in this chaotic mess.
Ugh, those brief respites. They're vital. RimWorld isn't just constant fighting, it's about the ebb and flow, right? Stress and recovery. A moment of mental peace means that, however briefly, the colony actually managed to provide an environment where someone could relax. You gotta cherish it because it probably won't last.
Okay, here's where things get truly baffling. Base value suddenly jumps to 48,000.
Whoa!
The player's reaction. A bewildered, why? Followed by the guess that it's due to excess steel rather than weapons. It's like they accidentally won the lottery with scrap metal or something.
Huh. It really highlights the often opaque nature of RimWorld's economy, doesn't it? Base value, which measures your colony's wealth, feeds right into raid difficulty.
Yep.
So the player's surprise and the focus on steal, it suggests maybe a resource stockpiling strategy, perhaps for defenses. But the game's basically saying, oh, you think you're doing well, think again.
And naturally, that sudden wealth attracts trouble. This base is going together. This is a big problem now, they realize.
Yep, alarm bells.
Immediately followed by the delightful anticipation of mortar and sapper raids. It's like RimWorld just punishes you for success. You get a little breathing room, and the game's like, hold my beer.
That's the core risk-reward loop, isn't it? Progress directly invites bigger threats. The player's immediate shift from confusion to, apprehension shows they get it, they know the drill.
Right, hence the next thought. Then we need to set up a front line. No time for celebration, just immediate prep for the inevitable beatdown.
Exactly.
Resource woes are like a constant soundtrack to this whole saga. We see a check for a lack of wood.
Always wood.
And even with 2 heaters blasting, it's only 15 degrees inside, which leads to the profound realization that mountainous inland regions are better because this temperature is great.
Small victories, right. Not freezing your ass off is a win.
It really is.
Temperature management is so fundamental. It affects crops, health, mood, everything. And the preference for mountains, it's not just temp, it's often about natural choke points for defense, access to stone for walls.
By finding any tiny advantage.
Any sliver you can get in a hostile place.
Then the announcements that just fill you with dread. A raid has arrived, followed by the understated panic of, many are coming, the raid is a bit too large.
Oof. Yeah, no dramatic music needed, just the cold, hard truth. You're about to get your shit kicked in.
Pretty much.
The directness of those notifications just perfectly captures the unforgiving nature of the game. No time for flowery language when you're about to be swarmed. Demands immediate attention, decisive action.
Then we get the delightful news that butchering corpses is causing the base value to increase too quickly.
Oh, brilliant.
So even turning your enemies into kibble has unintended economic consequences. It's a grim reminder that every single action in RimWorld can have a butterfly effect, usually a really shitty one.
It's such a darkly ironic twist, isn't it? Necessity processing corpses for resources becomes a liability by attracting stronger enemies. It forces you to weigh the immediate benefits against the long-term risks. Constant ethical and strategic tightrope walk.
The temperature continues its roller coaster. Minus 17 degrees here, minus 10 degrees there. Just brutal.
Yeah, wild swings.
And then a pivot. The decision to turn something on to prepare to go inside, and the need to build a nutrient paste dispenser to facilitate this.
The paste.
Sounds like they're embracing the culinary delights of processed.
Yeah.
Well, whatever goes into nutrient paste.
Nutrient paste dispensers are the absolute epitome of utilitarian survival, aren't they?
Yeah.
Efficiently converts raw food into sustenance, albeit, well, it's pretty unappetizing slurry.
Yeah, sounds grim.
It prioritizes survival and resource conservation over, fine dining, a common trade-off when resources are scarce.
Okay, the actual morning roll call finally happens, and the big concern is for a male character wearing winter clothing.
Specific.
Is he too hot? Is he about to snap from heat stroke?
Yeah.
The suspense? Oh, and they also check the monkey's gender.
The monkey's gender, okay.
For science. Or maybe just because, why the hell not in RimWorld?
Those seemingly minor details, they offer glimpses into the player's micromanagement, maybe, and the potential for just unexpected problems. The clothing could be a comfort issue affecting mood,
Right.
while the monkey's gender might be relevant for, animal husbandry or just keeping tabs on the non-human residents. Every detail can potentially become critical in a crisis.
Then a classic. Germs pass through walls.
Oh, lovely.
Because even in the digital realm, you can't escape bad plumbing. Or maybe it's just a bug. Either way, just another delightful hurdle.
Bugs and unexpected behaviors are totally part and parcel of the RimWorld experience, right? Players learn to adapt to these quirks, sometimes finding creative and often unintended ways to exploit them. It's a testament to the game's complexity and the, dynamic interplay of its systems.
So, a rare goods trader shows up. Got 4 trumbo horns.
Ooh, valuable.
Apparently unnecessary. The player's blunt assessment. Only food is needed. Forget your fancy art and exotic pets. Survival trumps all.
Yeah, that perfectly illustrates the colony's current priorities. Luxury goods. Totally irrelevant when basic sustenance is the constant worry.
Trumbo horns might fetch a good price later, but
they don't fill empty bellies now. That single-minded focus on food is such a common early game survival strategy. And it's reinforced, right? They also dismiss binoculars and TVs as unnecessary.
just food. Nothing else matters.
Yeah.
And of course, the universe has a sick sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
Despite the focus on food, what happens?
Let me guess. Food poisoning.
Bingo. A food poisoning outbreak.
Yeah.
You just can't win in this damn game.
Food poisoning is so frequent and debilitating, often caused by, like, poor hygiene or rushed cooking. It can just quickly cripple your workforce, making an already precarious situation even worse.
The player then reevaluates, needing consecutive defeats due to range issues. Sounds like they're trying to figure out why their shots keep missing the mark.
Yeah, maybe figuring out armor or enemy toughness, needing multiple hits.
And their take on being fired? Firing doesn't matter. Either they're a glutton for punishment, or they've got way bigger fish to fry than hurt feelings.
That indifference.
Right.
It could indicate a lack of social bonds, maybe?
Yeah.
Or just prioritizing immediate survival over, like, social standing in the colony. Bigger problems to worry about.
Right. Then a trader selling psychic shock lances appears. Tempting offer. It's considered.
Ooh, nice. Those are handy for captures.
But then, poof, trader's gone because a good idea arises. What was the idea? Did they realize they could just bash the raiders with rocks instead? We'll never know.
That's rimworld chance for you. The trader leaving just adds that element of frustration. Psychic lances are powerful, though. Big loss.
And then the ominous anticipation of a tribal raid. Time for some good old-fashioned primitive warfare, I guess.
Yeah, tribal raids are a different beast, often about overwhelming numbers, lots of melee.
Then we get an un-EA, some unknown event, and Peter vanishes into thin air.
Just
Gone.
Yeah. Did he get abducted by aliens? Did he finally snap and wander off into the wilderness? Rimworld mysteries abound. That unexplained Jai event, whatever it was, just highlights the game's capacity for emergent and often completely bewildering stuff happening. Peter's disappearance just adds a personal tragedy to the colony's struggles, underscores how fragile life is on the Rim.
Practical problems persist, too. Not being able to treat everyone together, probably a severe lack of beds or doctors, or both.
Yeah, a common bottleneck, strain on resources, even in critical situations.
And then a truly terrifying sign. A suitable environment for forming an insect hive.
Oh, no. That's bad.
If you know Rimworld, you know those buggers are a massive pain in the ass to deal with.
Serious long-term threat. They breed fast, they can overwhelm defenses.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want hives popping up.
So a hunt kicks off, got to eat somehow. The player considers using Molotov cocktails instead of boomalopes.
Ooh, interesting choice. Explosive options.
Talk about a Sophie's choice. Do you want a controlled burn or a walking nuke?
Well, boomalopes are high risk, high reward, right? Massive explosion, but unpredictable. Molotovs give you area denial, fire, but also risk burning your own stuff down. It's a choice between a mobile bomb and a fiery trap.
Pigs are deemed unnecessary, and the player ponders transport training. Streamlining the livestock, I see.
Evaluating resources again. Transport training suggests focusing on trade, logistics maybe.
And then the brutal truth of extreme difficulty is laid bare. Nothing makes money. Welcome to the Rimworld recession, folks.
Yeah, that just underscores the economic challenges. Surviving in the harshest environments means profit is often a distant dream.
Okay, jumping ahead a bit, there's a discussion about when to start cutting stone and the inevitable stone shortage. Basic construction, always a hurdle.
Always need more stone. Transitioning to stone walls is key for durability, fire resistance, common bottleneck.
And then the truly bizarre, the case of the missing squirrel spine, the spine fairy.
The Wecker.
The spine fairy. I swear, this game is built on pure, unadulterated madness.
A spine fairy. That's amazing. It's a perfect example of the strange, often hilarious, emergent stories Rimworld just generates. It's the player finding a narrative in the inexplicable, right?
Totally. The player then actually complains about no raids occurring.
Be careful what you wish for.
Right. This is immediately followed by the insightful observation that spines are not seen in vanilla Rimworld, meaning our spine fairy might be a modded phenomenon. The rabbit hole deepens.
Ah, mods. Yeah, the desire for raids, however weird it sounds, often stems from needing resources or combat experience or just the thrill. The realization about vanilla mechanics just highlights how much mods can change the experience.
That surprising financial update. 100 silver profit from a pig.
See? Maybe not so useless after all.
Maybe not. And the satisfying completion of corpse hauling, finally done with that, and the end of a resistance force. Progress, however small, in this bleak world.
It shows how dynamic resource management is, right? What seems like a burden, like pigs or corpses, can become income or just done. And ending a resistance force is a big win, a temporary reprieve.
Plans are made to change turret construction locations and expand underground. Smart move. digging in for the long haul.
Definitely. Relocating turrets suggests rethinking defenses based on past raids. Underground expansion gives protection from raids, weather. Good strategy.
But there's grumbling about too many sapper raids and merchant ship visits. Even good things, like traders, can be annoying in excess, apparently.
Huh. Yeah, it highlights that balance between challenge and opportunity. Too many sappers is obviously bad, but even too many merchants can be disruptive if you're not ready.
Preparations are underway for enemies charging the settlement and deploying the trusty turrets. Classic defensive maneuver.
Standard procedure. Bottle them up, shoot them down.
A colonist labeled Pure Runner gets replaced with someone told to haul. Utility over speed in this crisis, I guess.
Makes sense. Hauling is critical, especially mid-crisis. Need those resources moved.
And then a truly grim note. Cutting off colonists' limbs for profit?
Oof, yeah. Welcome to the dark side of rimworld economics.
Seriously, grim stuff.
It's a stark reminder of the morally ambiguous decisions players sometimes make just to survive.
The colony secures steel pikes and crafts helmets, got to gear up for the meat grinder.
Basic armor, essential upgrades.
And then we hit repeat on a few key points. Corpse hauling, resistance ending, turret relocation, underground expansion, sapper merchant complaints, preparing for charges, runner replacement, and limb harvesting. These are clearly the recurring nightmares of this colony.
That repetition really emphasizes the cyclical nature of survival in rimworld, doesn't it? Certain tasks, certain threats, they just keep coming back. Demands ongoing attention, strategic adaptation. It's the core loop. Get resources, defend, manage colonists, repeat.
Okay, moving towards what might be the end game. Research into Geldone into Gay, which is likely some kind of medicinal plant, becomes a priority, along with securing vision.
Makes sense. Investing in research, medical capability is crucial for long-term sustainability. Vision could mean telescopes or maybe just better lighting.
Unclear. But there's a tough choice. Cutting off an outer leg while trying to provide good meals. The brutal calculus of survival at its finest.
Yeah, that juxtaposition is harsh. Amputation versus morale. Difficult ethical choices to ensure the colony's survival, while still trying to keep people from snapping, hence the good meals.
Plans are laid to dive deep into thousand-year rimworld with dual miniguns. Sounds like they're planning on going out in a blaze of glory.
Dual miniguns. Yeah, that definitely signals an expectation of increasingly heavy firepower needed. Things are escalating.
The meat supply dwindles, leading to considering raising cows, which of course brings its own headaches. Fodder production and livestock classification. That's always something, isn't it?
Always. Raising larger livestock like cows gives a more sustainable food source, potentially. But yeah, introduces new logistical challenges. Feeding them, managing them, it's a whole new system to worry about.
There's even a thought about raising chickens to prevent raids.
Chickens to prevent raids. How would that even...
Now that's what I call thinking outside the box. Or maybe just pure desperation.
That's certainly unorthodox. Maybe a mod thing. Or some really weird interpretation of game mechanics. I have no idea.
Who knows? Amidst the chaos, though, a party breaks out.
Ah, nice. Got to take those moments of joy.
Even if it's probably followed immediately by a siege.
Probably. But parties highlight the colonists' need for social interaction, mood boosts. They're not just resources, they have needs, even amidst constant danger.
Instructions are barked out for repair work and setting up a brain surgery site.
Brain surgery? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, the colony's constantly patching itself up physically and maybe mentally. A high-quality component trader arrives rare and valuable.
Oh yeah, components are gold. Essential for advanced gear, tech.
And then a simple command. Rest. Even digital people need a recharge, apparently.
Absolutely. Managing fatigue is crucial, prevents mental breaks, keeps productivity up, essential micromanagement.
The familiar refrain of manpower shortage echoes. Always shorthanded.
Always. Hinders everything response to threats. Essential tasks.
An animal raid occurs, leading to regret over not having any dogs. Missed opportunity for some furry backup.
Yeah, dogs can be great for defense, especially against smaller animals or melee attackers. Tactical disadvantage not having them there.
There's also annoyance with a pure ideology raid, a faction with very specific and likely annoying beliefs.
Ideologues. Yeah, those raids can be tricky. The colonists you capture might have really strong beliefs that clash with yours, causing mood problems down the line.
Orders are given to craft parkas, winter is coming again. Or maybe it just never left.
Essential cold weather gear. Crucial for survival in harsh climates.
And the ongoing need to craft legs, a testament to the dangers of this brutal world. Or maybe just the thriving black market in prosthetics they seem to be running.
Ah. Yeah, the constant need for prosthetics just highlights the physical toll of colony life. Or maybe their doctor is just trigger happy with the saw.
A random thought pops up. Earth's drug problem.
Huh. Where did that come from?
Your guess is as good as mine. Just plunked in there.
That's the stream of consciousness nature of these logs, isn't it? Just reflecting the player's wandering thoughts mid-game.
There's worry or deliberation about where to put the chem fuel power plant. Safety first, I guess.
Good call. Especially with chem fuels, strategic placement is essential to prevent, catastrophic explosions wiping out half the base.
Right. Wargs are mentioned, another nasty predator.
Yep, dangerous pack hunters.
Yet,
Threat to colonists and livestock.
multiple mods get a thumbs down. Players getting picky. And an explanation of why UA participation, probably streaming, isn't happening.
Yeah, sounds like they're refining their mod list, and too busy trying not to die to interact with viewers, probably. Totally understandable.
Complaints surface about a middle school second-grade raid being too hard.
A middle school second-grade raid? What?
Gotta love the specific, if slightly confusing, threat assessment. More griping about smoke belt raids. Those are annoying.
Oh yeah, smoke belts are tough. Obscured visibility makes defense really tricky. The raid naming is probably just personal shorthand, right? Some inside joke for the player.
And then the dreaded words, worry about the base value decreasing. Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's usually bad news. Means you've lost a lot of valuable stuff. Or people. Weakens future defenses, potentially.
Fears of the never-ending food shortages return, of course. And more about retrying after a failed raid. The cycle of despair continues.
Persistent struggles. Food, raids. It's the core rimworld experience, really. Constant pressure.
The player explains why landmine defense is impossible. Probably learned that the hard way.
Yeah, mines can be tricky. Enemies might avoid them, or they might just not be effective against certain raid types. Probably a painful lesson learned.
Gripes about aiming with dual doomsday launchers. Powerful, but finicky, maybe inaccurate.
Doomsdays are insane power, but yeah, they often have big drawbacks. Inaccuracy, long cooldown, massive explosion that might hit your own stuff. High risk.
More moaning about managing colonist mental states, the constant juggling act.
The eternal juggling act. Core challenge of rimworld, keeping everyone from snapping.
And the ultimate question, should they just give up on rimworld? 1,000-year rimworld.
Oof, that's rough.
I mean, after all this, I wouldn't blame them.
Totally understandable. The sheer pressure and difficulty this colony seems to have faced. It sounds exhausting.
There's talk of using allies, maybe outsourcing the dying for a bit.
Can provide temporary relief, but allies have their own issues, don't they? Not always reliable.
Relocating the whole damn base, a scorched earth start-over kind of strategy.
Drastic measure. Usually done after suffering, like irreparable damage or realizing the location is just cursed.
Regret over a starting member biting the dust. Those early losses sting the most, don't they?
Oh, yeah. You get attached to the original's big emotional impact.
More discussion on why Molotovs are a bad idea, probably after burning down half the base.
Huh. Probably learned that the hard way, too. Fire is hard to control.
A decision is made. Craft a minigun and attempt defense. Last stand vibes, anyone.
Feels like it. Minigun suggests a desperate attempt to just mow down whatever's coming, turn the tide with sheer firepower.
A small win, though. No fallout inside, only outside.
Phew. Silver linings. Avoiding indoor fallout is a huge advantage during toxic events.
A facepalm moment. Brewing has still not been done. All this time, no beer.
Oh, come on. Missed opportunity for happy colonists right there. Beer is practically essential for morale.
Frustration at not hitting 400 of something. Unspecified, but clearly annoying.
Some resource goal, maybe? Falling short. More frustration.
And then, the glorious Korean phrase, "Yakras," which roughly translates to, well, let's just say it's a very strong expression of annoyance. Like, this is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, that perfectly captures the likely state of mind after all that. Pure exasperation.
In order to smooth the floor. Got to keep things tidy while the world burns around you, I guess.
Hey, smooth floors, improve cleanliness, boosts mood slightly. Small, consistent benefits. Gotta take what you can get.
A question about a resurgery room gets a confirmation. Specialized medical facilities. Getting fancy now.
Indicates a focus on advanced medical stuff. Maybe fixing all those missing legs. Or installing bionics.
And the million-dollar question, aimed presumably at the player themselves, when will the wooden walls be replaced with stone walls? Will you replace them after everything burns down?
Ouch. Yeah, a very valid concern given the whole fire and raids thing. Highlights a critical vulnerability flammable structures in this hellscape.
They need to measure the range of some kind of fancy tech, probably mod it and build it.
Okay, new defense coming online.
Initial assessment. Range is too short in one direction. Then the real facepalm moment.
Yeah?
Enemies are coming from the wrong side.
No. Oh, the pathing?
Player's reaction. Oh, it's a crazy game.
Because of one tile.
One single tile difference screwed up the entire defense plan.
That is RimWorld in a nutshell. Accurate range assessment, understanding enemy pathing, it's crucial. And yeah, one tile, one stupid rock can completely alter how enemies approach. Meticulous map analysis needed. So frustrating when that happens.
A sigh of relief, though. No one was hurt. Small victories.
Always celebrate the zero casualty wins.
A dire warning follows. If the wooden walls break, we'll all break together, guys.
Yeah.
The stakes are incredibly high.
Underscores that critical vulnerability again. Wooden walls are just not sustainable long term.
Then a dismissive, oh, it doesn't matter, is that resignation. Or some new, even more insane strategy brewing.
Could be either, right? Fatalism, or maybe a shift in priorities, like the walls don't matter if the real defense holds. Hard to say.
And now for the ultimate and brutal efficiency. As long as our dealers don't die, it doesn't matter if the front guys die.
Whoa, okay.
It doesn't matter if everyone dies. Only these two can't die. Holy crap.
That is ruthlessly utilitarian. Prioritizing key individuals, the dealers, maybe high-skill crafters or shooters, above everyone else, regardless of the cost.
And exasperated, oh my God. You could practically feel the stress radiating from this text.
Yeah, it's a stark illustration of the difficult, sometimes morally horrifying decisions players face in extreme survival scenarios.
A desperate plea. Don't break this.
Right.
Whatever this is, it's clearly important. Maybe a vital turret or wall section.
Must be crucial to the defensive plan, holding the line.
Then a strange boast. The kids are incredibly strong, our kids. Followed immediately by basically fucking strong, except for a few.
Huh. What a bizarre mix of pride and qualification. Like, they're amazing. Well, most of them. Some are crap.
It's a weird form of attachment, maybe. Even with the utilitarian death planning.
Could be. And the ever-present concern that deaths will needlessly shatter the mood. Even if you're sacrificing pawns, you still got to worry about the survivors freaking out. Crucial role of mental well-being, always.
And on that profoundly messed up note, we've barely scratched the surface of this 1,000-year, experience. What have we learned? RimWorld is chaotic, brutal, and often hilarious in its sheer absurdity.
Absolutely. It's a game where your best plans just go to die, and survival often means making incredibly questionable decisions, like, judging pigs and squirrels.
Or deciding whose legs are optional.
Right. This raw, unfiltered chronicle just perfectly encapsulates that emergent storytelling that makes RimWorld so damn captivating. It's not about following a set path. It's about reacting to constant crises and forging your own bizarre, often grim narrative in the process.
So what does this chaotic glimpse into tell you, listening out there? Maybe that survival, even in a virtual world, is less about strategy guides and more about just rolling with the punches.
And occasionally butchering a few corpses along the way. Maybe harvesting a lung or two.
Maybe. It certainly leaves you pondering the strange and wonderful and sometimes horrifying ways we adapt when the shit really hits the fan, digital or otherwise.
Okay.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I suddenly have the urge to check on my own virtual colony.
Yeah, me too.
And maybe lock a few doors. Double check those wall materials.